Welcome to the amazing interviews. My special guest today is Professor Filippo Crea. You are a professor in Catholic University in Roma, editor-in-chief of European Heart Journal. You have a wonderful record in terms of publication. Your Hirsch index is 100, probably overpass all these things. And you are so strong connected with what is cardiology today. And your talk has an interesting Latin name, Nomina sunt consequentia rerum. What means all this thing, Professor Crea?
Well, this comes from a Roman emperor, Justinian emperor. And by the way, his house was close to what is currently my hospital in the center of Rome. And it means words are a consequence of things. If things change, also words must change. And I think it's important because words in our life are important and must be properly used.
Wonderful, wonderful explanation. It's about the definition, is the core of everything, is the heart, is the name, and it's also connected with what we are doing every day.
Well, communication is important in our life, and communication is based on words, so they must be the right words.
Exactly, to define exactly what we intend to do. First of all, what are the ingredients of a successful cardiology career? Because you have one. Please share with us about these ingredients.
Well, coming to my research activity, I can identify three ingredients. The first ingredient is curiosity, but we must pay attention to curiosity because if we are curious, our mind is flooded with many questions, but not all questions are relevant from a clinical standpoint. So the first rule is to identify the questions which are important and which must be addressed in your research. The second ingredient is enthusiasm, perseverance. When I was young, after my graduation, the majority of papers I proposed were rejected from journals. But I persisted because I thought that what I was doing was important. And this persistence in the long run pays off. Thus, curiosity, addressing good questions, perseverance. And the third ingredient is to listen to critiques, listen to the others. I mean, nobody is perfect. There's always room for improvement. And we improve addressing the critiques we receive. So it is important not to react negatively to critiques and comments, but positively. In the long run, this helps.
Wonderful words. We as cardiologists, as doctors first, as cardiologists probably more than this, we are looking to have a balance between rest, meals, activities every day, and how it looks for you, a perfect working day in terms of, please share with us if you have a special recipe for all these things.
Well, simple rules I follow. It can be right or wrong, but this is what I do. I wake up at 6:30 in the morning. My breakfast is just 1 cup of coffee, of course, espresso, Italian coffee. Then I go to work, and I leave my cars about half an hour walking from my hospital.
Which walking every morning?
Walking 30 minutes in the morning,
Wonderful.
Going to the hospital, and 30 minutes back from the hospital to the car. So this is my 1 hour of physical activity, which is the starting point. Then if I can, I do more. During the weekend, I jog and so forth. But 1 hour walking every day is something I do consistently and something I've been doing for the last 30 years. Then I start my work in the morning. Now, these days after COVID, the first thing frequently is a video conference, a global video conference with colleagues in Europe, US, and so forth. And then the morning, to be editor-in-chief of the European Journal is quite committing. So I dedicate
Big burden.
3 hours every morning to the journal. Then I go for word rounds, and then in the afternoon, the first part of the afternoon is dedicated to patients, and the second part to research projects, writing and refining, research activity. Then half an hour back to the car, and then I have dinner with my wife most of the time. She's a wonderful cook, so the dinner is very enjoyable. Candlelight at the center of the table, a nice dinner. I forgot to tell that at lunch I drink another cup of coffee. So one coffee in the morning, one coffee at lunchtime, and then this wonderful dinner with my wife, candlelight.
And the number of hours of sleep?
6 hours.
6 hours.
For me, 6 hours are sufficient. I needed much more when I was younger. This is a common rule that you sleep more when you're younger. So when I was at school, I needed 8, 9 hours. But now 6 hours are enough.
Thank you for sharing this, because your enthusiasm, energy is contagious. And now we know more about how you are doing all these things. We have a lot of young cardiologists here in this Congress. Please address a message to them. Already you said a lot of things
Yes.
about the ingredients of success. What you are considering that it's important to tell to them?
Well, what is important, in addition to what I've said, is that regarding my scientific career, coming from a Western country, a Western European country, was probably facilitated this career coming from a Western country. In Eastern Europe, in your country, and in Eastern Europe in general, in the past, this has been a bit more difficult for reasons which are part of history. And what we have done in the last 10, 20 years is really amazing. So it is important to note that coming from Romania can be more difficult to develop this career than coming from Italy or from Germany or from France. But this was true for the past. Now it's not true any longer. But anyway, perhaps young cardiologists in Romania need a sort of extra effort compared to colleagues coming from Western countries in Europe. And I think that this is stimulating, because when we are young, we are really prone, ready to accept challenges. So what my encouragement for younger colleagues in this country is to accept the several challenges you meet for developing a scientific career. Please be ready to accept these challenges, because in the long run is very rewarding.
Wonderful words. At the end of our short discussion, I would like to introduce 3 questions from a list built by James Lipton, who made a famous questionnaire for celebrities in Hollywood. We as cardiologists, and especially you, as a leading position in the world of cardiology, you deserve this type of questions. So first, it's about what profession, dear professor, other than your own, would you like to attempt?
To be a detective. Very simply, because my interpretation of medicine, of being a doctor, is to be a good detective. And when I studied medicine, of course, some textbooks, but also reading Agatha Christie, Sherlock Holmes.
It's exactly
and,
my view of
Hercule Poirot, because our work as doctors is very similar to the work made by a good detective.
To find traces of the disease.
Absolutely.
To smell, to feel it, to see, to think.
It's like reading a book about Agatha Christie. In the first part of the book, you find all the clues to the assassin. And this is the same in our work. We listen to the patient. we visit the patient, we go for clues, and eventually these clues lead to the assassin, which in our case is the disease.
Exactly.
But the approach for the detective and for the doctor is really the same. So not being a doctor, I'd have loved to be a detective.
Perfect answer. The second is connected with what profession would you not like to do?
Well, all what is not intellectually stimulating. I think that I feel lucky. I feel lucky because I managed in my life to develop my passion, which was medicine. And the medicine, I define medicine the best work in the world, the best job in the world. Why? For two reasons. First, because of the human involvement, because you deal with human beings and we try to improve their lives. So this is a first attraction for to be a doctor. But the second attraction is based on the fact that intellectually is very stimulating. And we know that the brain remains healthy and young.
It's an exercise.
Continuously stimulated.
It's a continuous exercise. And the last question, it's about if heaven exists, and for sure we're thinking you are working in a Catholic university in Roma, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Well, in my life, I've treated 3 popes, but nobody asked me this question, so I'm not ready for the answer. But perhaps.
So you have a special track, I think, about.
But the answer I expect is, well, please come in, because you have been useful for people around you in your life.
Thank you so much. Grazie mille, Professor. Your inspiration.
Grazie
Thank you for all your help you did. We've met in the famous Rome course decades ago. So your life is an inspiration for us, and this talk is making us with more admiration about you. Grazie mille, Professor.
Thank you, Dan, for this opportunity. Thank you.